To the star, Dave, with no release date. I'm gonna be honest. This one is not for me.
No?
No, and I'll tell you why.
Okay,
This
go ahead.
is Alice in Wonderland, Harry Potter, the game, crafting survival game.
This
The
is
game.
This is the forest inspired by Alice in Wonderland.
But worse.
Do you think it's worse?
Yeah.
Why?
Just okay. There's a lot I think wrong with this game, but let's roll the trailer. I'll let you describe the trailer as we're watching it, and maybe I'll say, "Hey, this is why I don't like it." So here it is.
Okay, guys, if you guys are just listening, what we're looking at right now is a fragment of a star plummeting towards a planet. And like I said, my kind of idea for this game is like, this is basically the forest inspired by Alice in Wonderland. And I think what's really cool about this game is just like the entire vibe of everything. Like, we're watching right now and he's walking through this crazy landscape where the grass is purple and like all of this stuff is happening. Like, this doesn't like, it's just like so colorful and fun, you know, like you're not excited about it at all.
No, there's one thing I think is really cool that I'll definitely make sure to mention. Okay, so I know the colors are very like vibrant, but at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time,
it's so sick.
it's all mushing together, and it's hard to like. And that's where I kind of lost it. And you know me, I love bright colors and explosions and a bunch of all stuff like this, but I don't think it's like separating itself very well.
You know what? Like I feel you there. Like I understand that, but I think so. Like we said, guys, this game is inspired by Alice in Wonderland. I think that's exactly what Alice in Wonderland was. It was kind of like that, where everything just kind of like blended together because you're in this like. You're in such a unique space that it's like nothing like this has ever existed before.
Yeah, but for me, I don't know. I just don't think that they're doing it in a way that like, yes, it's a bunch of bright colors, but I don't think the bright colors are like a good, like, I don't think they mesh well together. Like, I really don't think like the background and the foreground are separated very well. I don't think like the characters and the things you're supposed to be finding are separated very well.
Do you think it's too visually stimulating? Is that kind of what you're saying? Like there's just too much happening?
Which is weird because I love games like that. You know me, like I'm like the more the merrier, but for whatever reason this one is just not standing out to me in the sense of like the visual can I say that word? Visualization. Can you say that word? Visualization.
Oh my god. Visualization.
That's a hard word.
That's a crazy hard word.
But anyway, I think that's where I'm kind of like stumped with it right now. And I think it's because the animations are kind of janky, and like the way the character moves in a way are kind of janky. And,
yeah.
And to me, like the character models remind me of Fortnite models. Like
they
it
do.
literally just seems like they just stole Fortnite models and slapped them in the game. And that's partially why I didn't like it as well. And I just think, I don't know. I think I'm getting the sense like we had this conversation with what game was that?
Tears of Metal.
Tears of Metal. Or no, not Tears of Metal. It was that first-person shooter. Was it Avowed, maybe?
Oh yeah, was it Avowed?
It was one of those games where it's like a first-person shooter that had mystical powers that had this and that and this and that. It was like first-person shooter, the game, and that's kind of what I'm getting. Alice in Wonderland Crafter, the game, and you know what I mean? Like I feel like they're smacking stuff together. And that's kind of where I'm at with this.
Maybe I might be able to steer you in a different direction here because I think
I have one more thing that I'm not really happy about with this game. So
okay, tell me the one thing that you're not happy about with it.
And this is gonna get like kind of maybe a hypocritical kind of situation, but and like so at the bottom there's a disclaimer in their Steam page, and what it says is they used AI to completely generate the idea, how to mix things together. And don't get me wrong, I'm being a hypocrite saying like it'd be hypocritical of me to say, oh, I've never used AI before. But I think I can see it. Like I can see the AI working into the game. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like they're making the game. It feels like they used everything from like, okay, you know, it's like you go to the AI generator, like, okay, give me 10 ideas for this game, and then so it gives you the 10 ideas, and then it's like smack it all into one. That's what I'm getting from this game.
Does it say that they use the AI to create the idea of the game?
They said they use it throughout their developmental process.
Yeah, but they didn't use it to create the idea of the game, did they?
I'll pull it up on Steam, but that is one thing. Like, and again, it would be hypocritical of me to say like, oh, I've never used AI for anything, because that's completely false. Because I have, and I've never like, you know what I mean. But I'm just the way they described it in this here. I'll go to the disclaimer here. Let me pause the trailer real quick. AI tools have been like an extra set of hands or brains for our small indie developed team. They've played a quiet yet invaluable role in helping us draft initial concept art and brainstorm through our tricky design challenges. Being polished native speakers, AI has also particularly been helpful in the fine-tuning of our writing, ensuring our game's narrative is engaging as possible. However, it is important to note that we do not use AI to generate any direct graphical or audio content for the game, nor do we use it to generate in-game content. So really, they use the AI to create the visualization of the game and like their whole concept of the game.
I don't know. I think I think you have to just see how you're kind of reading that. I don't know if to me that doesn't read that they used AI for the idea of the game. To me that reads like we used AI to create some very like interesting, like we needed help with ideas of how to make weird stuff to put in this game.
Well, here's my thing. If that's the case, like, where did they get the Alice in Wonderland inspiration? You know what I mean? Like, they didn't just say, "Oh, I want an Alice in Wonderland game." I wonder if, like, give us a concept that is weird, and like, oh, make a Alice in Wonderland inspired crafting game.
What if they did have the Alice in Wonderland idea though first, and they were like, "We're making an Alice in Wonderland inspired crafting game. Give me 5 visualizations of different plants that would exist in this world."
I suppose, and I guess okay, I'll take a step back on that. Maybe I'm overreading it or overthinking it. And because people use assets of Unreal Engine all the time, like people like grab it and use it for their game. So, okay, I could see that. So let me take a step back. People steal others' ideas all the time. So what's the difference from using like something that's going to steer more towards the game? Okay. All right. So maybe I'm reading into that part too much, but it's just weird that they have to have that as a disclaimer on their page.
I think it's actually kind of
Commendable.
I think it's kind of commendable that they even put it out there.
Yeah, that's true. They could have been like, "Oh, we came up with that."
Yeah, I feel like a lot of indie studios are probably using AI, but no one's saying that.
Right.
People that you work guys, people that you work with in your everyday life are using AI.
That's true.
I mean, like, if you ask somebody to write a video script for you, they're putting that in Chat GTP and then they're changing a couple words. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're like that's just how the world works now. So I'm not like, I don't know, I'm not like super turned off by this, if I'm going to be honest.
I think it's probably me just being hypocritical and overall just like trying to find a reason to hate a game for no reason. Granted, I still don't like it because of the animation style and the whole not really meshing well together. I think that's partially like, and I'm just trying to find other reasons like, okay, I don't like this game because of this, and that was one of them. But I'll take a step back. I'll recant what I was saying with the AI and move on from that. But
okay, I do agree with you with the animations. It's a little bit janky, but I'm going to be honest. I give it a little bit of a free pass just because, you know, I always kind of give indie smaller developers a little bit of a free pass here. It does look a little janky. The visualization, I think, is just a preference. I mean, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and I can see why you wouldn't. You know, like I can see both sides of the coin where it's like, ooh, this is very bright, this is very colorful, this is very much like Alice in Wonderland, I love it, or like this is all bleeding all over the place and it's too much and it's like overstimulating me and I hate it. Like I understand both sides of the coin there. I think a little bit about the game though, if you really kind of peel back some layers on this game, it's actually really kind of interesting. So like you like, and I think the thing that brought this to my attention was just the fact that I've been so knee deep in the forest right now. I think this is really going to be the forest, but in Alice in Wonderland style world. I mean, this is very much, you know, same kind of vibe. You're literally just, you are a character, you're in a world that you know nothing about, you're kind of learning the story as you're going, you're crafting, you're surviving, you're solving puzzles, you're fighting enemies. Like this is the forest. This is the forest in an Alice in Wonderland world, and I'm kind of excited about that. And I think if you peel back some layers, there's a little bit more to this game. Basically, the storyline is why it's called To the Star is you're kind of on this mission to figure out this mystery of the star, right? And you watch this fragment of the star come down, hit the planet that you're on, and you start trekking towards the star to like learn about it. And on your way, you're going to be finding pages of your father's journal, which details adventures that he had on this planet. And you're kind of learning about him. You're kind of recreating the things that he did when he was here. You're finding clues about mysteries on the island. Like you're figuring out why, because you're on this island, you're on this world alone. So you're figuring out like why your father left you here. So I mean, like there's a story here to kind of unravel, and the mechanics behind it are really kind of fun. Like it's that crafting that I love. It's the co-op crafting. It's gonna be 4 players. I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of really interesting things that you can do in this. Like you can farm, you can nurture creatures, so you can have like little companions that are going with you. Like it has a really in-depth crafting system. There's combat focus with like buffs. I mean, I don't know. There's more to this game than I think people are really talking about.
Yep, and I will say the coolest mechanic I thought with this game is so your base or your place of like building is its own world. So you have what's called the briefcase, and the briefcase, how they describe it, is
The
essentially
brief base.
yeah, the briefcase. There you go. The briefcase is essentially a world on your back, and so every time you like need to put something into your world or your base, is you gain the resources from the main world, and I think that's a really cool concept. And so that's one of the positive things that I took away from the trailer, and I think that's really cool. And it has the similar like mechanic as Pal World, where you can catch creatures and throw them into your world, and they can by the way you farm and gain other resources, they can upgrade and breed to have different abilities, which I thought was really cool. Another thing that oh, go ahead.
You know what I kind of think of when I think of this brief base kind of idea? It's just like your room in Hogwarts.
That's exactly where I was thinking too.
It's like your safe space where if you want to just go and like build stuff and craft stuff and like kind of, you know, you don't want to be attacked or do anything like that. Like this is your safe space where you can kind of just do your thing, not have to worry about any type of, you know, enemies and stuff like that. And then when you want to pop back out, the cool thing about the brief base is that when you want to pop back out into the real world, you can pull things from here. So like say you craft like weapons and buildings and stuff like that, you can pull them from your brief base, put them into the real world for a second, use them the way that you need to use them, put them back. I think it's kind of a cool idea.
That is definitely a much more unique game mechanic than the overall feel of the game to me. So you know what I mean? Like, and it's a small developer, like you had mentioned, and obviously it's going to be janky in the sense that all indie games have some sort of bug or jankiness to them most of the time. And I just think that mechanic may do it for me in the sense I'll try this game because of that. And one other thing that I thought was really cool is they're leaving it open for like extensive mod work. So like people that love modding games and things like that, it's really cool. So like if you really want it to feel like Alice in Wonderland, you'll be able to mod it to feel like Alice in Wonderland. Not me, because I don't know the first thing about modding any game. But in overall, that's really cool for the community to really make some really unique and cool mods for the game.
Yeah, and I think one cool thing about that is like even just the fact that they're kind of leaving this open says a lot to me about the fact that like they're very focused on the community and the player base here. So like, I think they're gonna try to. I don't know. This doesn't just feel like a cash grab situation or like you know, just something to buy the time until the next release. Like it. I don't know. It might not be a big title. It might not be the most amazing title, but it feels like something that like they're proud of, and I don't know. I just get the sense that like they want to put out a good game for the community, like something that people would enjoy.
I agree. But again, it was hard for me to look past some of the jankiness, and I'm glad we kind of talked through the AI situation and like, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that kind of took me a step back with that, and the mechanics might get me into it by itself. And you know me, like I'm not into the forest, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I mean, yeah, guys, if you guys are into the forest or anything like this, give this one a look because I think it's gonna be really, really cool. If you're into like crafting games, survival games, if you're into Alice in Wonderland, I think this has a place for it. If you're into just really colorful, kind of creative like ideas, indie style games, I mean, I think there's a lot of aspects of this game that's gonna draw some players in. It is an indie title. It's a smaller studio, so it might be a little janky. So I mean, go into it with a grain of salt, but I think it's gonna be better than advertised, and I haven't seen anything on this game. Like, did you find anybody talking about this game anywhere? Yeah, I didn't find anybody talking about it anywhere, which was kind of crazy to me. So I just thought it was a cool game to kind of bring to the table. No one's really talking about. Maybe something to keep your eye on if you're into that style.